Whew, I did not know if I was going to be able to film a video this week or not. It has been a crazy week. It's been some personal family issues. My wife had to fly to California, help out, and that's meant that I've got the kids and a lot more responsibilities with work for stuff that she maybe covered before. Now, she's still working from her laptop in California, but there's a lot of stuff here that I have to cover. I'm not complaining by any stretch of the imagination. I actually wanted to use this as an example on finding good in bad situations, because not too long ago, this would have caused a real problem for us to be able to do what we're doing and not have it cause major issues financially and just family wise. So besides the obvious of we have more money, why do you think it is that we're able to overcome the situation so much easier than previously we'd have been able to? I can tell you it starts with developing our growth mindset. And with that growth mindset, your ability to be open to learn new things and grow and adapt as a person. You learn how to handle money, and we went over that in my last video with spending less than you make or living below your means, however you want to look at it. Stack on that good, healthy habits to keep your life in order when chaos ensues will also help push you along, because all it's helped us realize is money's like a giant magnifying glass. It is not a magic eraser. It's not gonna just help all your problems go away. If you don't know how to use it, really all you're going to do is get more bigger problems. So once you learn how to use money as a tool to help with your life versus waiting for it to magically fix it, stuff's not going to get easier until you learn that. One of the biggest steps you could take when it seems like the world is just smacking you in the face with new problems every day and it's just against you is first realize that a series of your choices or decisions put you where you're at now. And that's not meaning these things that are happening to you outside of your control, somehow you made a decision to make that thing happen, but the way it weighs on you and the stress it puts on you is 100% a result of your decisions and choices in the past. So once you realize that your choices and decisions have put you where you're at, to have the uncontrollable affect you the way it is, that you just have to make better choices and decisions so they don't weigh on you as much. Making those decisions, one of the most important things you can do is set up your life's priorities. And that means people and things in order. So when you're faced with a decision that seems like a tough decision, it actually isn't as bad as you think, because you have to look at both sides and decide which side of that choice are going to benefit your higher priority in life more. And that's the decision you make, and that's how you proceed forward. And how it helps you is it's going to not make you regret that decision, because overall you've made a choice for the greater priority in your life. An example of that is I used to travel a lot for my business. I used to fly around, I used to go to a lot of places, and it took me away from my family. My priority list is my family is higher than my business. But I wasn't living my life that way, so I was living with regret. So I made the choice to make less money and go out and sell my business less to stay home and be with my family. I don't regret that decision at all. Once you get your priority set, that nagging regret goes away quite a bit. And you have to just make sure that your priority list is true to how you actually feel. Another way to help yourself through these tough times, start looking for the positives or the wins in every day instead of only focusing on the bad and the negative that's going on in your life. You have to start finding and focusing on the good things that are happening as well. And what it's going to do is it's going to help you when you feel as if you can't catch up and it's just you keep getting smacked in the face with a new negative thing constantly. It's going to give you the fuel and desire to keep pushing through all the bad, because you're able to see that there is also good happening in your life and it's not so bad. You don't lose faith that you've got something to keep pushing forward for. An example of this is we're using this current family situation to remind ourselves of the positive. And it seems a little crazy to think that a family emergency can be viewed as a positive, but here's how we're doing it. So our business is currently being faced with a lot of uncertainty and unknowns, and it's causing us to have to pivot and adapt quicker than we'd like to. And some of these negatives are things like turnover in our employees, customer issues, some technology growth issues. As far as we're paying for a new technology, we're selling our customers that we have the ability to do what this technology says it can do for us, and then when we get out there, turns out the technology is letting us down and it's not capable of doing what it says it can, and in turn that's tarnishing our reputation a little bit. So we're having to adapt a little bit on a lot of stuff and pivot and change who our customers and how we approach them and the quality of what we're offering them is. And it seems like a new problem is presenting itself every day or every week before we've even had an opportunity to overcome the previous days and weeks' problems. And so they're just stacking up and stacking up and stacking up, and the weight becomes heavy. But then something like this happens, something horrible, and it does a couple things for you. So it helps you put things in perspective, but it also has shown us that we've created such positive momentum through understanding how to use our money and save, and also having our habits, our good habits, continually pay off day after day after day, to where when something like this hits, it's not even a hiccup for us. We can overcome it, and we have so much more ability to overcome it than any time previously in our lives. Not too long ago, I was 29 years old, filed bankruptcy, lost my house, lost my car, lost my business. Was at the bottom. But there is something it didn't take, and that's my knowledge, my skill, and my growth and understanding of how to get back to where I was without making all the mistakes that put me in such a bad financial situation. Now, when faced with series of problems, I don't even bat an eye at them, because I've already learned how to overcome them, because I've learned from my previous mistakes. So if you're feeling like the world is against you, first realize you're not alone. And also realize, like I have to, just because it's my bad day doesn't mean other people aren't having worse days. Some people in this world would kill to have what I'm calling a bad day. You got to learn to appreciate what you have. Part of that is not worrying what people have or think of what you have. For me, that could be, I'm being teased a little bit by some of my friends in a good way, but that only I would trade a Mercedes for a Dodge. And I love this car. I think it's amazing. Me and my family think it was the best choice we could have made for the situation we're in and what we use the vehicle for. Has far more room and does more of what we need throughout the day than the other vehicle we got rid of, the G-Wagon. It's just a small example of being happy with what you have versus what other people have. I've got a friend who owns a Bugatti and a 918 and like millions and millions of dollars worth of car. That doesn't mean I shouldn't be happy that I own my McLaren. That means you need to be happy with what you have. I remember only having enough to own a minivan, and that was the low point of my car ownership in my life. There's nothing worse for me than owning the beat down Honda Odyssey that we could only afford after getting our tax. That statement alone tells you, like, there are people who love the fact that they can own the same minivan. So everything's in perspective, but focus on the positive, focus on what you have, appreciating what you have, while still pushing yourself to grow and adapt and try to push yourself to become a better version of you. Let me know in the comments if there's something you've had to learn the hard way, or if you're currently in the middle of learning something the hard way. Maybe as a group together we can help each other get pushing forward and stop worrying about only ourselves, because sometimes the most growth comes from when you're helping somebody else, because it actually in turn helps you overcome whatever issue it is you're facing. That's all I got in this one. I'll see you in the next one.